I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring the transformative power of faith with Kathleen Lizardi-Calhoun. She's the author of a remarkable book. It is called Spirit Driven, a collection of song lyrics, poems, and prayers. Kathleen's journey is a testament to living in the presence of God and finding strength and victory in His grace. With a rich background in education, psychology, and even criminal law, alongside her entrepreneurial spirit, Kathleen brings a unique perspective to her writing and speaking, aiming to inspire others to seek God's presence in every moment of their lives. We're delighted to have this very inspiring author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Kathleen, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
This is such a remarkable work, Spirit Driven, with its diverse collection of works within the covers of this book, from song lyrics to poems to prayers. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind it.
I think the inspiration behind it was my seeking answers for my own life and for the circumstances that seemed to do me in. And I couldn't find the strength of myself to be able to battle some of the, the life circumstances. And some of them are stronger storms than others. And I also knew and sought out the whole idea. I was intrigued since a young girl about that you could actually talk to God. I mean, that was amazing to me, but you can't see him, but you can talk to him. And so I never forgot that, but I did have examples in my life, my parents who we're a family of 8 children, and how they had this trust and peace no matter what wave came their way. And they would say to us, we're trusting in God. And so I saw that God provided. That stayed with me. And so in my own life, when there were, circumstances, the storms that come into life, I have to admit, even though I had that example, and there may be viewers that are listening right now, I started off with fear being my middle name. I don't have a middle name. So I replaced it with faith. But it was a journey. It has been a journey. Now, the book itself were my quiet time, intimate moments with God where I was seeking answers. And so in prayer, I would come to find that He is a revealing God. He is so true to His word. I will never leave you. Call upon my name. I hear you. I am an ever-present help in time of need. I have to admit that my journey didn't start off where it is right now, but I was able to gain trust in God. I loved God. I knew of God, but I'm going to tell you, I didn't trust God for whatever reason until I start seeing in my own life how He always pulled through. And so that gained my confidence, and He knew who He was dealing with, and that was me. Lack of faith, doubt, and I've gone from a journey of fear and doubt to one of faith and seeing God as someone who is incredibly intimate with us and has no limits. And I found that in my journey, it was I who was placing limits on God.
Well, it's
so I was able to the learnings that I have, I was able to write them down, and God would show me, and it came through poetry, which
wonderful.
is something that's not foreign to me. It was my way of expression and receiving as well.
Is there a favorite poem or song lyric or passage in the book that really resonates with you?
It is. It's actually the first poem, and the poem, if I may,
Sure.
the title is the title. Here is a blessing from God, Spirit Driven. The poem itself is a gentle whisper, and so it talks about how God comes to us in gentleness, and He comes to us in invitation.
Mm.
And it is up to us to respond. You know, we hear he knocks at the door, open the door. No, he knocks at our heart.
Mm.
And through what is supernatural, we let him enter into our natural. And then together it's an amazing, I mean, God has no limits. It's amazing. And my fear has gone to faith, and I'm so excited for the new things that are coming forward, because I now have the courage that comes from such a loving and huge God.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I understand there are some young people, teenagers mostly, you're in their lives as an
Yeah.
educator, and they're blessed to have you, and they notice the good spirit, radiating from you. Tell us a little bit about your work and your professional life.
Yes. So I'm a high school teacher. I teach Spanish. I love to teach the language of Spanish and also the language of English. That has been an experience. I've also been an administrator and studied, put my the law background and criminal law background into practice, the study of education law. And it's just been a blessing to be able to work with not just the students, but families in particular right now. And because of the work that I'm doing with the writing, and it is a public school, and
Mhm.
I completely respect, the boundaries of, religion versus faith. However, love knows no walls. And
Mm.
so as I develop a climate of respect and love and acceptance, the students have asked me, Mrs. C, why do you have so much love in your heart? And and look at us, sometimes we mess up. And I said, but that's the power of love. Why would I want you to be perfect before I would start loving you? And
Mm.
so I'm able to share some of the learnings that I have made as to how God relates to me. He didn't wait for me to be perfect to walk me in this journey of faith. He knew I was afraid. He knew I didn't trust him. He knew
Mm.
that I limited him, therefore limiting my possibilities. And so I think that that has brought compassion. My own journey has brought compassion to those that are in my orbit or sphere of influence. And right now, it's those students. And these are the students that are post COVID. And there's
Mm.
so much going on in their hearts behind that facade of a smile. They're fragile.
Mm.
And so when I walk into the classroom, they're my world. They're whom I am sent to, so to speak.
Mm.
And I'm going to help them through and get them through, but also, raise the standards so that they can also achieve what I did, which is knowing that you can, and build that faith in them. I know where my faith comes, and I'm, sharing that and passing it on to them. I think it's something that when God gives us something, we cannot keep it to ourselves. Just like when we write as an author, you as a speaker, a journalist at one time,
Mhm.
you cannot keep the truth to yourself. You've got to share it.
Exactly. You got to let your light shine. I think in the
Gotta
Bible
let
we
your
talk
light
about covering
shine.
the lamp. You have to uncover the lamp and let the light shine for sure.
Yes.
In the book, you write about the concept of entering the chamber room of God. Tell us what this spiritual encounter would look like for someone who is seeking transformative change in their life.
Okay. And it may mean the chamber is your place.
Mhm.
It's that place where you are away from the noise. For some people, it could be their bedroom. For others, it could be the beach. For others, it's that place where you separate yourself, not isolate, but separate yourself so that you can connect with um, the soft whispers, the
Exactly.
prompts, if you will, the whisper of God. And and he is as I mentioned, a God of revelation. He says, draw unto me and I will draw unto you. I put everything he said that I could get my hands on to the test. Um, and it is true. And so the chamber room of God for me is, I call it sometimes my Starbucks time with God. Sometimes it doesn't have to be serious. You don't have to be on your knees. Although I will tell you, sometimes during those moments of being in the chamber, I cannot help but to get on my knees and when I understand what is happening. But for the most part, I'm sitting down and I have my Herbalife tea, which is what I drink,
Yeah.
and I begin my day that way. I begin to understand that I cannot be in alignment with His divine call for me when I'm out of alignment because of the things that I want to do of myself. And I have learned the peace that comes with that and the power that comes with that, and a surrender of even my ambitions, um, to seek what next step He wants for me. And it doesn't have to be a grandiose type of thing. It's gaining that, receiving that grace. It's the chamber room of God is the place where you receive all that God is so ready to give us for that day. I have learned that I can't do tomorrow with today's graces. It's today. And my priorities are set straight, which is God is for me, God is real. And today He's going to show me, He's going to prompt in my heart who needs that love that He's channeling to me that I cannot keep. And Logan, there have been some amazing situations. One that comes to mind is I went to get my car fixed, and this is after, being in the chamber, whatever that means. It's like, Lord, who do I, show me who could use a little encouragement today. To my surprise, I went to get my car fixed, and there was a woman there, and I befriended her, and I could tell there was something, a pain, just embedded behind that smile. And what I found out is that that day she was fixing her car for her son because she was going to commit suicide. She was going to quit that day. And because I allowed myself to be guided by God and be able to be used versus be all worried about the grades I had to turn in the next day as a teacher, I was able to feel it in my heart. I knew it. And so that's one tiny example of the power of the most living God. And all I had to do was just show up in whatever we call as our alone place, where we can process what is going on, see our circumstances, but change them and look at them from a perspective that is God's perspective. So we know we're going to be okay because we rest in Him. It's a place where we can acknowledge Him, receive from Him, and then be able to give through Him.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it opens up your mind, it opens your soul, your heart to God, so you can do His work, which I think is wonderful, as you did that day at the car repair shop. Almost out of time, but I wanted to ask you about your prolific writing. Spirit Driven is more than just a book, it's a series, right? Tell us about what
Yes,
you've
it
been working
is.
on in the series Spirit Driven.
One of the things that really caught my mind was the fact that, my journey happened, and it happened as an adult. But what if Spirit Driven, God could be introduced through Spirit Driven, meaning you are driven by the Spirit of God. What if I could bring that to children or to teenagers, this whole concept, but be able to have poetry or song lyrics that can help them through that concept, that maybe is, that is abstract, but can help them to understand that they're not alone. God exists, He is real, and He is with them and loves them. And so I am working on that. I'm also devising and modules for helping, just reaching out and helping others, because I get asked, how did you do it? But see, I can show who God is and where to find him, and I can point to him. But that relationship between that person and God is going to be so unique as they are of themselves. And then also, my husband and I have just recently finished a screenplay that we are. It's being registered, and we are moving in that direction. So we are moving in a direction to be able, through social media, to reach out and encourage people, love people, and know that they are loved by God. But see, the biggest thing is, a lot of us hold back because we are trying to go on our own power. But just what if? What if we tapped in that chamber room to the God, the Almighty? And what if we were able to do the big things outside of our own ability because we have a big God whom we believe in?
Wonderful. Then our power is exponential, as is God's. And it's a wonderful gift you've given to people by writing this book. Kathleen Lizardi-Calhoun's Spirit-Driven series is more than just a collection of writings. It's an invitation to experience life transformed by the grace of God. It's a wonderful book. It's a life-changing book. You'll want to keep it on your bedstand as a daily devotional, perhaps, where you can reflect upon your life and the grace of God. Kathleen, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
It was a delight. Thank you so much, Logan.
Pleasure's been all mine, and to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.